I'm Maxwell Garcia, and I am heading to New York City for 3 nights and 4 days on a boys trip. It is going to be my personal third time in NYC. The first time, I was there for like 26 hours, really got to only grab Snapchat spectacles, and that's it. The second time, did a lot more things, ate some bagels, went to Summit One Vanderbilt and the Met, but the Broadway shows that I wanted to see got canceled. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen to me this time. So without a further ado, let's roll the montage as we all head to New York City on this day.
I don't want to leave. This, like, it doesn't get better than this.
Yeah,
when I was a little kid, we'd go to, like,
this is the best city
family
in the world,
vacations or whatever. And I remember, like, being on the airplane so upset because we have to go back home, and I hated it. It was a gray.
Yeah.
This is heaven.
Yeah.
I wake up every day. I woke up at 4:30 this morning. Yeah. I do it every fucking day. You know why? So I can go run for hours through the city by myself. Yeah. I have a game I play all winter long. The game is to try to get from one end of the Brooklyn Bridge to the other without seeing a single person. Do you know how hard that is? Yeah. You know how fucking hard that is?
Have you done it?
Yes. I did it 3 times this winter. That morning was the bomb cyclone where it was 20 below zero and they had warnings about not going outside. Yeah. I fucking ran 10 miles because no one else was on the bridge that morning.
Crazy.
In the snow, in the pouring rain, like
The sexy One World Trade Center. We're in 2 separate groups, but we made it to Manhattan. That's the Oculus right there. Now we're taking a Model Y to Times Square where we're gonna buy some Broadway tickets. We're all gonna see Book of Mormon tonight at 8, and I'm going personally to see Hadestown at 2 p.m.
This city is like, I cannot get enough of it. It is like fucking heroin, and I want it pumped directly into my veins. And it doesn't fade. It is like a woman, a partner, something you've wanted your whole life, and then you just fucking get it, and it's better than you imagined.
Yeah.
Like, there's no word, there's no...
You're like by the altar by the road. Oh, we see. What do you... Never mind on Book of Mormon. They do not want to pay more than $60 for a Broadway ticket. Someone gave me a fast pass to cut in line. Super clutch. We got Hadestown and Book of Mormon for today, but I'm going by myself. I have about an hour and 30 minutes until the matinee. They picked a random lunch spot, and I'm looking now to find them. Hadestown and Book of Mormon. Hadestown was 85, and Book of Mormon was 110.
I already took him from Benny home for Anthony. Yo, I got it.
Benny on. First Broadway show. Harry Potter. Everyone else is going to Central Park. And I'm going to the Walter Kerr Theater. I'm getting to hear some of the original cast, including Eva.
I'm Eva Noblezada. I act on Broadway, and this is how I get it done.
I'm excited and nervous.
Oh, keep your head low. Oh, you gotta keep your head low. If you wanna keep
that was fire. Amazing. We're in the midst of Times Square, and oh my gosh, Hadestown felt so alive. Like the set, the rotating stage, the set transformation. Oh my gosh, and Eva Noblezada, top tier. Then I got some tacos at Los Tacos #1, one of each meat, delicious, and corn because Chipotle has flour tortillas. Didn't want it to be the same. And I'm probably gonna get Krispy Kreme now and walk around. Maybe go to the Apple store on 5th Avenue to charge my phone because the Airbnb is an hour away with public transportation. And that's where everyone else is right now.
And this is a side story from the boys who went to Brooklyn to check into the Airbnb. And then after they checked in, they went to a pizza place. And while they were sitting down, a random stranger comes up to them, grips them on their shoulders, and starts to ask, "Oh, who's down to play basketball? You down? You down? Do you know how to dribble?" And starts dribbling the basketball inside the pizza place.
I have Book of Mormon in 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Let's play the super quick game of how much does a Chipotle bowl cost right now in 2023 in New York City? The chicken bowl starts at $11.10.
I'm just walking around Manhattan, and we ran into First Republic Bank, SVB, and First Regional Bank, 2 bank collapses of 2023. Wow, the ATMs are locked. There's a Nintendo store, and we got the Lulu store, and I'm walking to Grand Central Madison in the Grand Central Terminal. Bad Bunny counter at 1. This is supposedly the longest escalator in New York City. The only empty place I've seen in New York City so far. This isn't the subway, by the way. This is the Long Island Railroad. New York City love. Fresh construction finished in 2023. Literally, no one's here though. Low-key, the piece is nice. It's been a long day with only 3 hours of sleep. I can appreciate a nice deer mural here and then. And by the way, those tacos and those Krispy Kreme donuts were the first meal of my day today at 5 p.m. On this intersection of 47th Street, I'm now gonna head to Apple 5th Avenue, a store I've never been to because it's been under construction for like the last 5 years. Also known as a place where I'm gonna charge my phone because I can't have it dying on me in this city. And by the way, for Book of Mormon, I'm going in way more blind than I did for Hadestown. Because for Hadestown, I watched a slime tutorial and listened to the full soundtrack. But for Book of Mormon, I'm going to listen to 3 songs. This Starbucks Amazon Go partnership recently opened up, I think late last year. This was where the Snapchat spectacles were being sold all those years ago.
Good morning, iPadOS team. Good morning, iOS team. Oh, hey Tim. I've noticed that we're not seeing that many sales for the M2 iPads. Yeah, it turns out most people weren't actually that annoyed with any iPad hardware. They just wanted Pro software. Well, we launched the M2 iPad Pros.
There it is, Book of Mormon, second Tony Award winning musical of the day.
First off, those mezzanine seats were so uncomfortable. My knee was right up against the seat in front of me the whole entire time. But listening to songs like Turn It Off or I Believe or the spooky, scary Mormon Dream songs for the first time, there's actually hilarious moments in the show, but not as good as like S tier Hadestown. And then on the long subway ride home, I got to actually practice my Spanish with a stranger who was in a way trying to flirt with me.
1 hour subway home. Woo! Book of Mormon was something else. Not as good as the masterpiece of Hadestown. New day and new start, an hour away from Manhattan. So right now I'm gonna go to Manhattan by myself a little bit earlier than the group because I'm gonna get some rush tickets for New York, New York, which is a musical I have to see because Lin-Manuel Miranda is involved with it, even though he probably only wrote Gold and Cheering for Me Now, which is like probably 2 out of the 20 songs in the musical, but Lin's involved, so I have to go. And I just want to say, even though New York, New York got some Tony nominations, the reviews have not been generous and kind to the show. And for me personally, Times Square is never a tourist trap. It's interesting every time, especially since I like to see the advertisements companies doing, since mostly I avoid them, like ad blocker on YouTube. There's the Some Like It Hot Theater. It won the most nominations for the Tony Awards this upcoming year. I still need to watch the movie it's based off of though. R.I.P. Phantom. We're all meeting back up in Hudson Yards. We have the shut down vessel.
And I'll admit it that there is a beauty in the spontaneous nature of my friends. They randomly chose this place inside the mall in Hudson Yards. And we shared chicken and beef nachos that were fantastic. One of the best nachos I've ever had. Doesn't beat Flanagan's in Miami, but it comes close. And then we walked the High Line, which is a 2-mile green path. And we saw Little Brown.
Go get in there.
Hey!
Go run right.
Very symmetrical. But he runs it at like 5, 6 a.m. You can see. Bro, no.
I'm not taking the bike, bro. You're gonna get lost.
This is my super quick thoughts on New York, New York. This is a show you could pass, but like I'm about to say, it's decent. There's some plot lines, like there's this violin player that I do not care at all about. The violin player is with a duo. I didn't even bother to even like try and remember their names, and whenever they were singing, I was like, oh my gosh, and I roll, here we go again. And then there's this like mini plot with a gold dress that I think you could cut out entirely. and you're really missing nothing from the show. Like, this show could really be like 90 minutes to 2 hours long without intermission, but this is a 3 hour, not too much of a drag because I really wasn't like looking at my watch, anxious for it to end. I was enjoying it, but there's some slow parts without a doubt.
That was a full 2 hour and 50-minute experience, but an underrated one at that. And now it's an hour until I go to 6. The only tickets for Broadway that I bought before this trip started.
And that's Kimberly Akendo, the show that's going to win the Best Musical Award for the Tonys this year. I'm very glad I got to see all the choreography and the little moments in between the headliner songs. But this show is extremely similar to the soundtrack. You get like 85% of the experience as compared to sub 50 for the rest of the shows that I've seen in this trip. And some of the jokes were getting overused, but 6, definitely a banger, fun show.
I'm spending all day with the boys. We're going to DUMBO and get some breakfast at a bagel place.
Where are we going? Get breakfast at DUMBO?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, that's really wild.
Yeah, Manhattan and then Brooklyn. Acquired the bagel, tofu, scallion, cream cheese. Going on the ferry. Wait, does this ferry actually go across?
Market?
Yeah, we gotta put in our stock trades.
Okay.
We're at the New York Stock Exchange. The market closes in an hour. Yeah, charging bull. We're at the charging bull. May Tesla stock go to the moon because Lord knows I need it. So many people.
Get on the line.
No, we're good.
I'm not doing that.
To the moon. I separated from the group again because they're going to the Met and I'm doing 2 Casey Neistat things. Here's Casey's office on the 2nd floor. After I see a Casey ad that is hopefully still there for a microphone, I'm going to a Lin-Manuel Miranda, well, partially Lin-Manuel Miranda owned bookstore. Is this trip just obsessing about Casey Neistat and Lin? Yes and no. I mean, they are basically native New Yorkers and just represent the city. Now I'm gonna get a sweet green because they don't have any in Tallahassee and the ones in Miami are like 40 minutes away from my hometown house. Going to the Bronx for a Yankees game.
For our last day on Tuesday morning, all we had time for was to quickly go into Manhattan and grab another bagel, this time with cookie dough cream cheese in the middle. And if you do this, please remember, don't get it toasted and only get a plain bagel, because we made the mistake of getting everything bagels toasted and it did not taste good at all.
You got that one from that you said that you want.
And then we diverge off to our separate airports.
Thank you.
So this is where we'll cut to the things that the boys did while I was watching my Broadway shows. They went to the Lego store. I got a little keychain from my friend. And they also went to the Hershey store. Anthony got these cold brew M&Ms that were actually pretty tasty. And then they went to the Met for an hour, walked around the city, saw Central Park. And overall, they said they had a good time. And I apologize for cursing, but back in the Airbnb, we watched Beef and the Lakers versus Warriors Game 4 with the "La Fuck You" step back.
The
girls like coming like with super long shirts.
Yo, let me not get on. Bro, you got tight.
Danny, do you pay for the DoorDash pass monthly?
It's because I have checks like I do.
My ranch. Too small. Should've gone the $5 one.
This too far.
This is way in.
Claro, papi.
Oh my god. That was so close.
Coge ahí un plato.
Bro, uncover it, man. Trying to make the wing.
Yo, Danny.
Bro, those are chicken.
You get my Arizona?
I don't know why it's on me. Where's Arizona?
It's in the fridge.
Wait, that's the only sauce?
We can do $5.
No, we should get the $5 ranch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we have gone the $5 ranch? How much is this? Hold on, is that you're like, dude, like, oh my fucking god.
Come on, bro.
What is that?
Last time nobody wanted the fucking $5.
I was like, are you sure it's enough? And you're like, yes, it's enough. Look at you now, bro.
No, yo, fuck you guys.
No, literally suck my fucking balls.
No, suck my fucking balls.
You dumb
Nah, we all
bitch.
spent down.
I got fucking ranch last
For
time.
some reason, I expected like buffalo or something.
You just fucking spit out food in my fucking foot. Bro.
The One Piece! The One Piece